So our assignment, my entire AP class, our assignment was we had to create a timeline either in the order that it was given to us or putting it kind of in the order that makes sense. So what I did was I took points in the book where it made references to other times and put all the years and dates, whether it's somewhat general like after 2001 or more specific like 1999, and I put them in order. Up here I have all the chapters, and either it's the narrator or it's the person who is talked about the most, the person who the chapter is kind of based upon. And then what I did was I wrote kind of summaries. So it's essentially the book in what would be a linear order. And one of the things that I really liked about this book, and I did really like the book, but not until after I did my timeline, was the fact that because it's in such a chaotic order, one of the things I thought about was when you think of memories, you don't think of them in order. You don't have a linear timeline kind of organized, categorized in your mind of how things have gone. It's specific events that you go, if you look back on your life, it's, oh, I remember this, or oh, I remember that, or that happened. And that's kind of how I saw the narration, which was really interesting to me because the first time I read the book, I did it kind of like Miss Dahl did. I was up at my lake house in the Adirondacks, no internet, no TV, no cell phone service, sat on my dock and read it for 2 days. And it was one of those books where you sit down and you read it, and you're like, I have no idea what just happened. So when I got home, I started doing my project. I started rereading every chapter, taking literally millions of sticky notes, figuring out what fit where, what years corresponded to what chapters, and then organized it. And how I originally thought about doing it was having each character have their own row, and then having the years at the bottom for the columns, and then having just a quick 1 or 2 sentences for each character. If they showed up in that chapter, they show up in that column. If they didn't show up, they didn't show up. So you could see the relationships between each of the characters. And if I had more time and more patience with it, I probably would have done it that way. But this is how it came out. And the colors don't really the green and blue and pink don't really correspond to anything, the exception of that I couldn't find so much colored paper in the same color. But other than that, yeah. So, I don't know if you guys want to take a look at it. And what I did was for each of the characters, when they show up in the chapter, I highlighted their name so you can kind of get a general idea of who's in what chapter by the bolded names.
I don't know if you guys will confirm this, but there was the first week of school, this found its way, KJ's project found its way out into a hallway in schoolhouse. And there was a kind of general, like, ooh, you see what KJ did? And it was really cool, because, for many, they're like, oh.